Mr. Santos to get seated on the committee today?
Yeah, we'll be done with all committees today. He'll get seated on committees, yes.
You said yesterday you had some questions about his past. Did you raise concerns during the campaign season before the election?
Well, my staff raised concerns when he had a staff member who impersonated my chief of staff, and that individual was let go when Mr. Santos found out about it from there.
That was Speaker Kevin McCarthy just 2 weeks ago, defiantly telling reporters that New York Congressman and alleged conman George Santos would be seated on House committees. At the time, McCarthy reassured reporters that Santos wasn't a walking garbage fire. I'm sure he's sticking by that, right?
I met with George Santos yesterday, and I think it was an appropriate decision that until he can clear everything up, he's off the committees right now.
Was that something that you asked him in the meeting?
We had a discussion, and he asked me if he could do that, so I think it was the appropriate decision.
What would need to be, what would being his name being cleared mean?
Well,
What would you hope for?
Going through ethics on some of these concerns, and we'll make sure.
Wow, it only took 2 weeks for Kevin McCarthy to go from saying he had confidence in George Santos to saying that maybe it's best if Georgie doesn't take his committee seats after all. And McCarthy made clear why Santos was being removed from doing a congressman's job. That mountain of ethics investigations and potential criminal lawsuits just around the corner. In case you missed it, George Santos is currently facing a growing number of investigations as Republicans struggle to confirm a single actual fact about his life. Santos is now facing investigations into his biography, his finances and fundraising, and claims that he promised green cards to men in exchange for sex. Great first month, Speaker McCarthy. You're about to see a lot less of George Santos, and that's by design. Republicans want to keep Santos as far away from the media as possible, especially now that the FBI appears to be taking over the main investigation into Santos. Now, Santos hasn't denied his wrongdoing. Instead, he's tried to prove his innocence by spinning even more disprovable lies. Some Republicans have finally had enough. And you know what? So have voters. A poll released this week by Newsday and Siena College found that Santos may be the most unpopular member of Congress in recent history. 71% of Republicans in his district want Santos to resign. So do 89% of Democrats. Only 13% of his constituents think Santos should actually remain in Congress. Yikes. But that absolutely terrible poll isn't upsetting George Santos. In a bizarre interview with One America News, Santos explored new depths of narcissism by saying that everyone calling for him to step down is really just jealous of how amazing his life has been. Watch this.
People like me aren't supposed to do big things in life. And when we do, it disrupts the system. And I know that a lot of people want to create this narrative that I faked my way to Congress, which is absolutely, categorically false. I've never presented anything other than what my means allow me to. So I've never had to establish or present falsehoods pertaining to my own finances. I'm the first one to say, not doing that, can't afford it. You know, I have no issue saying when I can and can't do things. I have no issues limiting my ability to write a check.
Huh? So aside from that word salad, the rest of the GOP seems to realize it's in some real trouble here. That's why Kevin McCarthy trotted out his shadow speaker, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, to make the case that kicking Santos off his committees is all just a brilliant plan to own the libs. Try making sense of this.
He just felt like that there was so much drama, really, over the situation, and especially what we're doing to work to remove Ilhan Omar from the Foreign Affairs Committee. Mr. Santos' statement in there was just saying that he spoke with Speaker McCarthy and made this decision on his own.
So Greene, who was apparently holding a press event in the basement wearing a full-on fur coat, thinks the media should give George Santos a break. Instead, she argues, they should be focusing on Ilhan Omar, who Republicans have spent the last week trying to kick off her committees for no actual reason. That's brain-scramblingly stupid. But this isn't the first time Greene and Republicans have tried to make an example out of Ilhan Omar. Before her theatrical return to the establishment side, Marjorie Taylor Greene made headlines for trying to force Omar to retake her oath of office on a Bible instead of a Quran. Remember this?
They swore in on the Korean. Oh, we have the Bible. We're going to talk about swearing in on the oath, how to swear in on the Bible with them, and let them know what our law says, that you can't swear in on the Quran. So we're going to explain to that. You know, we're going to explain about how you can't swear in on the Quran, and we're going to have the Bible and ask them if they would swear in on the Bible. That we really need them. Oath. Yeah, we have the oath.
So that little bit of religious hate speech really gets to the core of why the GOP wants Omar off her committees. They simply don't believe a Muslim can have loyalty to the United States. But show them a character like George Santos, who's being investigated for posing an actual risk to American national security, and suddenly hacks like Green have nothing to say. All of the chaos on Capitol Hill this month is just a preview of the madness Kevin McCarthy has in store for America over the next 2 years. And with the GOP still too weak to enforce any kind of discipline on its extremists, things are only going to get worse from here. George Santos is fading fast, but even if he ends up resigning from Congress, Americans will still be stuck with the most extreme Republican delegation in modern history, and too many of them are sitting in leadership positions. Democrats must be strategic and tireless in resisting the flood of chaos to come. The American people are depending on them. If you made it to the end, thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like and consider subscribing. And leave a comment below so you can let me know what I should cover next.